What up, everybody? Grom Trooper here, and I wanted to take some time today to talk to you about one of my helmets. And it's one of my favorite helmets, so I figured I'd take some time and do a review for you guys. And that helmet is this one, which is the Bilt Discovery. It's a helmet that's fairly readily available from a couple of different retailers. I got mine at Cycle Gear because we have one in town, and I always like to be able to go and try on a helmet before I purchase it, particularly because I have a weird head shape and some helmets really, rub my skull the wrong way. And if a helmet's not comfortable, it's not something that you're going to want to wear, and it's critical that you wear a helmet. So, you want to make sure that it's comfortable. Now, this helmet, clearly it doesn't come from the factory like this. I did some custom decal work to this one, and this is not the visor that comes with it from the manufacturer. Well, we'll get into that in just a bit. So some things that I like about this helmet is it's incredibly comfortable. It's chock full of padding, and the padding's not too stiff, but it's stiff enough to hold the helmet comfortably on your head and keep it from shifting around on you, so you don't have those sudden jerky movements that can really hurt your neck if you shift and the wind catches your helmet. It's not trying to snap your neck. There's enough play in it that you get to feel the pressure, but it's not something where it's gonna really tug on you hard. The price on this helmet was phenomenal, and it's one of the things that drew me to it. And I think when I picked up this helmet, it was on sale for something like $80 plus tax, which is great value for a helmet of this quality. Now, one thing you will notice is that this is an adventure helmet, and I've removed the sun visor from it. I'm not a fan of how the sun visor looks, and I think the helmet looks absolutely awesome without it on there. And with the tinted visor, you really don't need the sun visor. Speaking of the tinted visor, this visor is really awesome for a couple of aspects. Some tinted visors you get with this mirror finish, you cannot ride with them at night. It's just impossible to get enough light into the helmet to ride safely, and this one has just enough tint to the point where it keeps the sun out of my eyes when I'm riding out in the midday desert sun, but I can throw this helmet on in the dark at 5 in the morning and ride to work, and I can see perfectly fine, and it's perfectly safe. And that's something that I really love about this visor. The next thing I really enjoy about this helmet is the shape of it. So I've got a giant nose, and very frequently I'll put on a helmet and it'll squish up against my face and either push my nose or my chin in while I'm riding, and that's not something that's comfortable. So one thing I really like about this is I have plenty of space in the front of this helmet. When I eventually get to the point of putting a comm system and a microphone in here, there's still going to be plenty of room for my face in here, and it's going to be really spacious and comfortable, and still look awesome while it's doing it. It does have an adjustable face vent here. And most of the time I keep it open because even if I'm riding in colder weather, I want that ventilation to sort of keep me from fogging up. This does have the habit of fogging up really fast if you're breathing out into it and it's cold outside, so that's something to be aware of. It also has 2 vents just above the visor here, and they're kind of hard to see in the black on black. And my only real gripe with those is that you can't close them. So you can close the chin vents, but you can't close the top vents, which can make it a little chilly, especially for your ears if you're riding in cooler temperatures. But it's something that, for the comfort of this helmet and the visibility of this helmet, it's something I'm perfectly okay with living with. The field of view in this helmet is like no other helmet I've ever had, and this is my first adventure helmet, so it's sort of a new thing for me with this massive sort of dome visor. But your field of view is so much better than with traditional helmets in these. I don't think I'll ever be able to pick up a normal style helmet again because of how well you can see out of these. Now, that being said, this helmet does have a few cons. As I said earlier, you can't close the top vents on it. That's a little rough. It does only come with a clear visor from the factory, and catching these visors when they're in stock is kind of a nightmare. I happened to be able to pick this one up. I was just on my computer doing some editing at like 11:30, 12:30 at night one night, and happened to refresh the Cycle Gear page where I was looking at them, and they had 2 of them in stock, so I was able to pick one up and get it shipped out. That being said, it got here in one piece, not a single scratch on the thing, and that's nice. But having to fight to get a visor for your helmet that isn't completely clear was kind of a nightmare. Now, because you can't close the vents and because it doesn't have a chin guard on the bottom here, it can get a little air noisy in the helmet. So as you're riding, you get a lot of air sucked up and in, which in the summertime here is absolutely great. It keeps my head nice and cool, keeps me from overheating in this helmet, and it's something I really like. But I can imagine riding around in the winter for anything more than probably half an hour, your face is going to get a little cold. You might want to get like a balaclava or something to wear underneath the helmet. And really, that's overall. If I had to like give this some sort of star rating, I'd probably give it like 4 out of 5 stars. There's some features I'd like to see on it, like closable vents and stuff like that. Maybe a quick release chin strap instead of traditional 2 D-rings. But for value for money, it's absolutely phenomenal, and I would recommend this helmet to anyone who's looking for either like an entry-level adventure helmet or just like a really nice daily riding helmet. That's what I use this for. This is my to and from work everyday helmet, and it served me really well for that. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Thanks.